all begins here, at sea. From this moment on, a great deal of care is required in order to provide the quality product expected by today's consumer. Fishermen, buyers, processors, and other people directly involved in handling fish will talk about their experiences and the changes that are taking place in the fishing industry to meet the growing demand for top quality fish.
It starts with us, I guess. The guy catching them has to make sure he looks after them. The thought I have on that is I just think, would I want to eat that if it's bad, right? I wouldn't want that on my table, so will I try and bring in something that you wouldn't want to see, you wouldn't eat yourself?
Fishermen are at the start of a chain to supply a food source that must compete for the attention of today's consumers.
The competition is growing in leaps and bounds. It's growing daily, and that's not an exaggeration. Every day we are seeing new competitors in the marketplace. So we are an important player, but we cannot consider ourselves to be the only player by a long shot.
Probably a lot to do with quality. I mean, it is a lot to do with quality, because if you do come in with bad fish, especially on the haddock part of it, they don't get shipped to Boston and you get less. So yeah, quality is one of the main things.
Fish quality can be recognized by some very basic features.
Same thing, I look for a good firm fish, one that's been, kept good. The eyes are nice and clear. And as long as the fish is firm, it seems to be a pretty good fillet off it.
A piece of fish, whether it be fresh, salted, frozen, needs to appear in its natural color, which is translucent. The consumer does not expect to see that piece of fish broken. They don't expect to see the fish ragged. And one of the other more important factors is smell. A fresh fish will have a distinct smell, which is certainly not offensive.
Fishery in southwestern Nova Scotia has a reputation of having the best groundfish there is. They're fatter, a better quality fish, providing the quality is looked after.
There are 4 principal factors that all have an adverse effect on fish quality, and all 4 have their origins at sea. Bacterial growth produces a softening of the flesh, increases offensive odors, and bulging clear eyes begin to flatten and cloud. Warm temperatures are directly linked to how fast fish spoils. Even small increases in temperature significantly increases the rate of spoilage. Digestive enzymes are the main factor affecting the flavor of fresh fish. When left in the stomach cavity, digestive acids spread outwards, causing off flavors to the fish. Rough handling causes damage. Fish that impact hard will end up bruised. Puncture wounds to the flesh also radically reduce the quality of fish. Bacteria, temperature, enzymes, and rough handling all degrade fish quality. To prevent your fish from spoiling at sea, it's essential to follow these 4 main steps. Move it fast, keep it cold, keep it clean, and handle it with care. Moving it fast and keeping it cold work together to prevent effects of spoilage caused by warm temperatures. Keeping it clean limits the ability of bacteria to spoil fish. Keeping it clean also removes digestive enzymes that cause spoilage from the processing area. Handling it carefully eliminates the damage that can turn otherwise good quality fish into a poor quality product.
The role of the fisherman at sea is really important, because that's where it all begins, and if you have a good fish to start with, you can produce a good product. Initially, bringing in better quality may not pay off that trip or the next trip, but it will pay off, and I think those that market their own fish can see that.
The biggest change I see into it is there's always that race for the fish. You went out, tried to fish the most gear, tried to get the biggest trip. Now it's quieted down a little bit so you can spend more time on the quality. You end up getting a better price for them.
3-4 years ago, we went into, with our boats and our part here, we went into a big quality incentive thing. Have been working on it the last 3 years steady aboard the boats and in the plant, and have seen a big improvement in prices and everything by doing it. And we have to give a lot of credit to the crew in the boats for what they've done on the quality.
The quality of fish as it's brought aboard cannot be improved, and at best, the rate at which it deteriorates can only be slowed down. Fish retrieved from gear when dead already show signs of advanced deterioration, including more occurrences of soft flesh, patchy skin, faded eyes, and bleached out gills. Maximum soak time should not exceed 12 hours, and times over 24 hours should be avoided. Warmer waters will accelerate the rate of deterioration, so every attempt should be made to minimize soak times. Doing this ensures the majority of fish are landed while they are still alive and in the best possible condition at the start of the process. Landing live fish means you are starting with a top quality product. This quality will only be maintained if additional care is used to reduce rough handling and blood clots caused by puncture wounds. Puncture wounds such as this gaff hole affect quality in two ways. Bacteria and enzymes can easily enter deep into the fish. Secondly, the resulting blood clots cannot be washed away. This creates a product that is visually unappealing. Careful gaffing at sea can greatly minimize the damage to the catch. Pierced fillets can be eliminated by gaffing in the head, or by using the gaff to flip the hook from the mouth of the fish. Doing this helps eliminate damage, ensuring a high-quality fish.
This fish basically has no defects. This is choice. As you can see, it's nice and white, no gas marks, no discoloration. This would be top-of-the-line fish anywhere in the world.
The gills of freshly caught fish contain blood and are covered with a natural slime that is rich in nutrients, a prime location for bacteria growth.
When you didn't gill your fish, you get a lot more blood into your fish. They hold blood, and it looks bad when they come out of the boat. You look at your gills, they're all half brown from the blood being in there, and it's starting to go bad.
Removing the gills helps eliminate a major source of bacterial growth, the primary cause of fish quality deterioration. Incompletely gutted fish landed with bits of liver, pieces of intestines, or other remnants will suffer from a loss in quality. Timely gutting prevents the contents of the gut cavity from breaking down and spreading to the flesh of the fish. All fish should be completely and cleanly gutted, ensuring that all pieces of livers, intestines, and entrails are removed at sea. Improper knife handling inflicts damage to the end product. Cuts in the flesh, like this slice near the napes, is responsible for ruining what might otherwise have sold as a top-grade fish. Careful knife handling prevents damage to the final product. Avoiding knife cuts that extend deep into the flesh is essential to maintain a top-quality product. Specific products like this large premium grade salt cod require additional care at sea to guarantee that quality is maintained.
The other big thing that we do with our fish is we dress them different. Before we used to rip them right down through the napes, and when we pried them apart to take the guts out of them, we broke the nape bones, which automatically makes a standard or a commercial fish. And now we don't do that.
Gutting exposes blood, bits of fish particles and stomach contents, and creates a place for bacteria to grow. Cleaning the processing area is an essential step in maintaining quality. Frequent hosing down of the decks at the end of each set is a simple but effective method of cleaning the deck area during the time spent at sea. The fish must also be cleaned before being placed in the hold. Proper washing is a major factor affecting the quality of groundfish. Trawl tubs or other containers can be used with a deck hose to achieve satisfactory results, cleaning away blood, slime, and bits of offal. For more effective washing, the fish should be completely submerged in cold seawater in a well-designed wash tank and subjected to a cool, clean stream of water sufficient to continually circulate water around the tank. Soaking in the wash tank also helps by removing blood from the flesh of the fish. Cutting the throat of the fish and placing it in clean, cool, circulating water results in a thorough bleeding, a step that is essential to make a clean white fillet. The unblemished white fillet on top is from a fish that was bled and washed for 20 minutes in cool seawater. However, blood remains in the fillet of the second fish that was not first washed or bled.
The blood comes out of the fish a lot better. The fish look a lot better when they go in the hole. There's not slime onto them. There's not, parts of guts. So it makes for a better looking fish when they come out of the hole.
Handling fish roughly causes physical damage. Throwing or dropping fish over great distances results in bruising. A well-designed vessel layout ensures that fish are moved fast and carefully from one location to the next within the processing area and to the hold without striking hard on any surface. The use of ramps or sloping surfaces along the way reduce the impact caused by a straight drop. The elimination of forks to move fish at sea also prevents damage.
We find that it didn't make was no more effort to put them away without forks than what it was with forks, because you had to call them anyway to put them in the pins.
Applying ice to the catch is an effective way to both chill and preserve your fish. Icing is most effective when you follow these three main principles. Ice it fast, use clean, new ice, and mix the ice well in between the fish. Moving the catch to ice quickly places fish in a chilled environment where bacteria growth is hindered, and the process of spoilage can be slowed down dramatically. The ice itself is important. Good ice breaks apart easily and mixes well between fish stored in the hold. Ice that is fused together into a solid block, or is contaminated by blood and slime from the catch, should be removed from the hold at the end of each trip and replaced with clean, new ice before going back to sea. Proper mixing of ice and fish is essential to fish quality. Putting down a heavy layer of fish before adding ice means that fish in the middle layers take longer than 24 hours to chill to an acceptable level. A thorough mixing of both fish and ice effectively chills fish in as little as 2 hours or even less. Piling fish to excessive heights causes a loss in quality, as fish in the bottom of pens have the fluids pressed out of them, leading to a substantial weight loss. The use of shelving reduces dimpling and softening of the flesh, and the catch will weigh out heavier. Optimum quality can be maintained when the storage height does not exceed 20 inches.
Well, we use a lot more ice. We use twice as much ice as what we ever used to. We shelf our pins so there's not as much weight in a pin per se on the bottom of the fish or on the bottom of the pin. It helps from squeezing them out. And we wash our fish, to try to bleed them out. And it does bring a better quality fish.
Maintaining the proper hold temperature is essential to preserving fish while the vessel is at sea. Aluminum hatch covers conduct heat into the hold, causing excessive melting of ice, especially during periods of warm weather. A layer of insulation below the hatch is an effective way to reduce warming in the hold. The time factor is essential in keeping fish fresh. Unprotected fish on the deck can spoil very quickly, even more so in the hot summer months. Fast, efficient handling of the fish along the production line is essential for maintaining quality. Getting fish processed, washed, and to the hold as fast as possible preserves the quality of the fish that came over the rail. The length of time spent at sea is also a factor.
We're not staying as long of trips now. All summer we only stay 3-day trips to try and get a better quality. So I find in my boat if I stay 4 days or more, they start to deteriorate a little more.
All of the care and handling exercised at sea must continue throughout the offloading process to maintain the quality of the landed catch. This includes how fish are removed from the hold.
Fish forks was a problem with the salt product and with the fresh as well. In the fresh product there was holes in the fillets and they were tore. And in the salt was the same thing as well.
The elimination of forks and unloading by hand significantly improves the catch quality and yield for minimum extra effort.
In here to the wharf, the very first time we ever tried it, on 50,000 of fish, it took us 20 minutes longer to offload than what it did to take them with forks. So for 20 minutes, if you was going to improve your quality, and at that time I think we improved something like 10 cents on a pound, it was well worth our time.
When the last fish is pulled from the ice of the hold, one final task remains for the quality-conscious fisherman. To reduce bacterial contamination, a thorough cleaning and sanitization of the deck, hold, and all implements should be completed at the end of every trip.
When I took a boat before I bought my own, we didn't used to clean out the bilge. A little bit we try to, but now we have these shop vacs and stuff we can hose the bilge out and get rid of the stink and clean it. Makes it a lot better because if you don't do that, you got that stuff laying on your shaft and all that stuff and on your packing box, and that eventually it's going to start stinking and you can smell it. It's a lot better to keep it clean.
Proper vessel cleanup requires 5 separate steps: rinse, scrub, rinse again, sanitize, and a final rinse. The first rinse prepares the surface for cleaning, washing away the majority of contaminants. Scrubbing with a brush and soapy water is required to remove stubborn bits that cling to the surfaces of the deck and hold. The second rinse washes away the released particles. Although the surfaces may appear clean, they are not yet sanitized. Commercial sanitizing agents are effective in killing bacteria. It's extremely important that the manufacturer's recommended concentrations be followed. Too weak a solution will not kill all bacteria, and a solution that is too strong may cause irritation problems for the user. Equally important is following the recommended dwell time. The sanitizing agent must remain on the clean surfaces for the recommended time to effectively kill the majority of bacteria. The final rinse washes away the residues of the sanitizing agent, so it does not cause any off flavors to the fish that will be placed in the hold on the next trip. For proper vessel cleanup, it's important that all 5 steps be completed in the correct order. Using the 4 basic principles, fast, cold, clean, and care, ensures that fish are landed in top condition. Moving fish fast along the processing line, moving it to the hold fast, and landing it ashore fast are steps that help get fish into the marketplace while they are still fresh. To preserve fish, make it cold by mixing it well with the ice as soon as possible after it's brought on board. and ensure there's enough ice to keep it cold for the entire trip. This slows the process of spoilage. To prevent bacteria or enzymes from contaminating the catch, clean fish completely of gills and guts, then wash thoroughly in clean seawater. A clean vessel also prevents contamination of the catch. Ongoing hosing of the processing area while at sea, and a more thorough cleansing at the end of each trip, controls bacterial growth. Care is needed when moving fish along all stages of handling, both at sea and on shore, to eliminate bruising and punctures. Care is also needed when storing fish. The use of shelving prevents crushing during the time spent on ice. A quality fish product requires teamwork. In the journey from ship to shore, each step is of vital importance and requires cooperation and effort, starting with the fisherman until the fish is placed on the consumer's table.
The fisherman's part is real important because, as I say, if you start with something good, properly maintain it right through the process, you'll have a good product in the end. And that's not to say that our role is less important. It's very important also. The fact is, we can have as good a quality control program as it's possible to have. If we get poor product to start with, we can mask it, but we can't make good product out of poor product.
George, are you going to send Indy up to Adelaide?
Would be what the men do aboard the boat is about 70% of what happens. It's got to be my initiative to keep them doing it, but I also got to have the crew to do it for me. At least it would be at least 70% driven aboard the boat, 30% in the plant maybe, and possibly more in the boat and less in the plant. Because if you have quality coming to you, you don't have to work as hard on it. And we've got to the point now that when we're shipping fish into the United States, as a rule, our fish are sold before they leave Nova Scotia. We know where our fish is going. We can almost have a price before they leave Nova Scotia.
Everybody has to play a part, and it has to start with the boat, of course, and the crews. And it plays a part right through to the trucker, the fellow that's trucking the fish to the States, and the fellow that's receiving them in the States. Everybody has to make sure these fish are taken care of. The crews have to make sure that the fish are taken aboard fast, that they're put in the hole fast and taken care of. We have to make sure they're packed quick, put on the trucks. The truckers have to make sure the reefers is run on them, and when the brokers receive them in the States, they get them out the door as quick as they can. And everybody has to work hard at this quality thing. It doesn't come easy.
Ultimately, it's the consumer who drives the demand for fish. For the suppliers at the end of the line, the key concern is the quality they can serve to their customers.
It's one of the most important things in this restaurant because seafood is 80% of our sales, our product. And if we serve something to the customer that's not up to par consistently, then they're not going to come back, and they're going to tell people not to come back. And it's like so important. It's incredible. It has to be right on.
We don't buy second-grade fish. If that were to happen, obviously our customers would go elsewhere. They would perhaps buy beef products, poultry products, and so forth. So it's important for us to have good quality, fresh fish. It's very essential for us to definitely supply our customers with that.
Customers today are very choosy. Families are very particular as to what they put on their tables to feed their families. And if we don't do a good job, someone else is going to do it. And that's the importance of keeping our markets.
The design of fishing vessels has an impact on fish quality. Some of the key players in today's fishing industry give their thoughts on potential improvements as they move towards the future.
There's a lot of things that can be done yet to improve our quality. I mean, our boats haven't changed much over the past few years, and there's lots of things that can be done aboard of the boats to improve the quality, like boxing at sea and maybe refrigerated seawater for our wash-up tanks. And our boats just aren't at this point designed to do that. But in the future, hopefully, that some people building these boats will incorporate that. And I think there's still a lot of room to improve our quality yet.
I definitely have a lot of insulation. My deck and stuff would be more insulation in my deck, so keep the heat from going down in your hole. The wash tanks would definitely be aboard. If I had the money and was building a big enough boat, I'd have my own, I think in some boats they even have their own ice making machines.
The whole industry has undergone tremendous changes in the past few years. Changes that have produced the positive results required by today's consumers, and changes that will produce even better fresh, frozen, salted, and smoked fish products.
From right now, the fish that we land, like I say, they're much better quality because of the practices that we're using. The fish are firmer, there's less blood and guts in them. The fishermen are taking real good care of the fish outside, which makes a huge difference in our catch.
Although the fishing industry has made major improvements in fish quality, stiff competition will be the driving force behind a continued search for better quality products in the future. If you move it fast, keep it cold, keep it clean, and handle with care, your fish will be a welcome meal at any table.